Hi guys, so I'm gonna show a 8x8 layout process video using the City Sidewalk collection from Pink Paisley, which is kind of like an old collection. I think it's from 2012. Some of the stamps I'm using is from Technic Tuesdays Early Edward stamp, and this is the particular code that I'm using. Um, Love the absolute joy of little faces during the holidays. Um, and first of all, I'm gonna stamp with the Brilliance Moon White ink. I think this is a fantastic ink for stamping onto this the chalk core. Um, if because it kind of really emulates that whole black board effect really well. When you stamp and then you see the effect, you will see it, and um, that was the effect that I was going for, and I really like it. And this recommendation was from Jennifer McGuire, if I'm not wrong, and it looks really good. And so I'm gonna try and cut that down to size with my paper trimmer. Um, and usually when I do paper trimming, it's kind of like an estimate. Like I kind of eyeball it. I don't actually measure anything. So that's just how I roll. um, and the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mat it into some white cardstock, because I figured out that the black onto um, uh, directly onto the thing just looks sort of too jarring. But first of all, I'm going to use some new stamps from Hero Arts. So this is like a holly leaf stamp set of sorts. I think it's I can't remember what is the name of the set, but it's one of the new releases of 2014. And so I'm stamping it up with some Hero Arts Royal Red ink. Um, I think that's what it's called. And um, the first image that I got wasn't that fantastic, but to be honest, I didn't really care very much, because I knew I was gonna stick over most of the areas, but I still do want to have like a reasonably clear image over the areas that did not uh, that I will not be able to cover up with what I'm gonna do later. So I went over and stamped it second time, as you could see just now. And I'm gonna flip the stamp over and then stamp it on the bottom side as well, to give it like a more balanced look to the area. And this time I learned my lesson a little bit better, and I pressed a little bit harder for the image for the full image to appear. The stamp didn't go right through, but to me it really doesn't really matter, because I'm gonna be layering stuff over it, so no one's gonna actually see that part. Um, so I'm picking out the pieces that I'm gonna be using for the layering, and then what I really like about um, the ephemeras from the City Sidewalk collection is that there's a good mixture of what um, is like rectangular and what is also circular or irregular in shape. So I think that this mixture is kind of is important and good to have, because sometimes when you get some of the packs mm, that comes along with your paper pack, some of the ephemera or the die cut pack seems to have um, too much irregular shapes, so it becomes a little bit harder to work with, because the balance is harder to achieve. Um, Things that look too stark or they look too rounded. So having all of that is like a good balance of like both very structured shapes and um, also very irregular shapes is good. So there I'm using my Monotombo um, Multi 2 liquid glue, and I'm sticking it down to mat it, as I previously mentioned, and the edges I actually edged it with Black Soot Distress ink. Um, and I'm gonna go ahead to do some painting. So this is a metallic paint of sorts from Deco Art, and what we like about this metallic paint is that it is not fully opaque. It gives this like kind of like a glazed look over your project, which is kind of the look that I'm really into right now. Um, I mean, I appreciate like opaque pigmented colors, but I kind of also like this almost clear translucent color. I thought it um, had just a little bit of shine um, and I guess color to the area without drawing all the visual attention to it. Because if you tend to use opaque colors, they tend to have a larger visual weight. So um, sometimes when I'm going for that, I would do it. If I'm not, then this is kind of fun to add a little bit of detail to an area without causing too much attention to be drawn to the area. Um, yep. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is gonna flick some this um, glam glaze of sorts from Tethered Angels. I'm not quite sure whether it's still around anymore, but the Tethered Angels Glimmer Glam. It's called Hay Ride. Hay as in like straw, hay, and ride like roller coaster ride. Um, and I really like the effect because once again it goes for that really nice translucent, almost slightly glossy sort of look, and I kind of like that look. Um, so it's here's me like trying to arrange my elements just to see where things go are, whether I want to put them over or under and stuff like that. I felt that I wanted to do a strip of a pattern paper to draw attention to the coat. Sure, I felt that even though it is very obvious where the visual weight lies on the coat, but there is nothing to draw the eye towards it, so that it feels a bit like floating in the air. I need something to like ground it a little bit. And I think the contrast between black and the rest of the piece is just too wide. So I went to search around for like a red-ish monochromatic paper. So that's what I got here. Later you'll see me adding a little bit more red because there was still too much white in this piece of strip that I cut out. Nonetheless, I think it was an important step, making sure that the what I'm gonna do looks somewhat balanced. And so I still felt that the piece was still um, the weight wasn't still where it should be. So I would have gone ahead to get some washi tape, a red houndstooth washi tape from MT Tapes to draw more visual weight to the area. So that's my washi tape on the right. I did quite a little bit of editing between the frames because I think in the original video that was like 30 minutes and I'm trying to cut it down to something within 15 minutes because most people are not going to have the attention span to last that long. So I still kind of wanted to like kind of eyeball where I would stick that washi tape. So I still had to kind of lay out just to make sure that this is really what I want, because once the red is on the pattern paper and then stuck onto it, the visual weight will really shift towards the left side. So I thought it was kind of important to kind of make sure that this is what I want, because if it isn't, then the rework will be quite troublesome. So I'm gonna lay my elements on top of it soon. I snipped quite a bit of the video because it's just really just me pacing things down and putting things on dimensionals, and since I found my 25, so midway through the video I actually couldn't find the 25 there, which I kind of wanted, and it made all the difference. As you can see, the 25 circular black die cut there actually balances out the image so much more. Um, and so here's me thinking which one I want to put in dimensionals, which one do I want to place it flat down. Now at this point I also realized that I kind of want to do like second layer of mounting with black, so that's exactly what I did. So I cut out like a strip just slightly larger Once again, I usually eyeball this entire process out, and this will be on dimensionals, I believe. They will be placed on top. And I felt like the left needed a little bit something, so in the video later on, you will see me actually adding that little girl picture that's um, in red. It's kind of like almost like a postage stamp sort of image, um, and I actually placed that down onto the left of the coat. So um, what I'll get in the end of the day would be uh, something I thought is a little bit more balanced. So for balance, I kind of pick up a few things, learning like online courses here and there, but in reality, a lot of these is really like a matter of trial and error, of placing things over, seeing which one works best with the piece that you're doing. So there's no real hard and fast rule that I abide by, like visual triangle and all of that. I mean, sometimes I do use that if it kind of works for where I'm planning for it to go. Sometimes if I'm really I'm kind of like quite far into the layout and I feel that there's something missing or I want to balance it out by placing something somewhere, I'll just kind of like eyeball it and I'll kind of take a whack at it, and most of the time it kind of work. So that's kind of how I do the whole um, uh, layering thing. My hand actually stretched over to grab some sequins. So these are red shiny sequins of various sizes, and I kind of picked out just the ones that I know I wanted on the piece of varying sizes, because having varying sizes help to um, I guess give it a little bit more interest into the piece. So that's kind of trouble that I'm facing with a lot of like commercial sequence that I'm getting from like the big scrapbook companies like Heidi Swapp or Teresa Collins. They tend to be about of like they tend to have like sequence of the same size. I guess it's really good if you're using it for like a shaker card, and having some consistency is nice, but sometimes you just want things to be more random so that um, you can kind of place more variations on it. Now, I felt that the entire piece needed more grounding, so I decided to mat it on some uh, red cardstock. So that's what I did, and um, by the end of the video, you'll see me snipping a little bit off on the right. Um, And since the thing about me is that I really eyeball most of my pieces, and sometimes I just grab a pencil and then I'll just say, okay, that's kind of where I'm going to cut, and that's how I get my sizes. So I don't actually have a set of measurements to go by. I guess I prefer this as a way to figure out how much to mat and how much to mount and stuff like that, because I'm relatively lazy to do measurements. And when I try to do measurements, they are rarely 100% correct, because the variations that are introduced into each piece that I have to layer one on top of the other is a little bit too much. So here's my final piece after I sliced off the little strip on the right, and that's where the code is at. I liked how it turned out. I liked it very much actually, and you can see like a little bit of the glitter from the cryptogram. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!